Today marks 1255th day sharing lessons I learn and continue to learn with all of you. My hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help you achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I have a question. The question is, who am I? Who am I? I think that this question is not optional. It's not optional. I think we forget to ask that. And if we do not ask that consciously, if we do not ask this consciously, we ask that unconsciously, and we're living a life with that question without really giving that thought into that. So this question is such an important question. I think that we need to always reflect and really reorganize our thoughts, reorganize ourselves, reorganize who we are, and just to make sure that we're able to live a life based on who we truly are, not what maybe society, maybe we build ourselves to protect ourselves. There is so many different reasons why we live, and not the way how we're supposed to live, not the way how we will love to live. And today I will really focus on really what we need to know about that question. Who am I? What every single person needs to know about that question. Who am I? So number one, I already mentioned it. You already have answer to that. You already have that consciously or unconsciously. You have an answer. And the biggest thing is that the problem isn't that you answered that question wrong. The problem is you never realized that you answered that at the first place. And you were answering every single day. Because I think that we need to realize that a lot of times we potentially making decisions of subconscious thinking our identity. Subconscious has our identity that we programmed for a long time. Maybe in that subconscious doesn't question anymore. And when we make decisions, we making those decisions from our identity, who we are. And that subconscious could say, I'm not enough. I always make mistakes. I'm not able to achieving it. So even though that you consciously don't think that, your subconscious is sending signals, and you consciously making decisions that really align with your subconscious. And it's a very, very, very dangerous place to be in. To really making decisions and you're not knowing why those decisions are leading where you don't want to go, because those decisions were influenced by our subconscious. Our subconscious has believed that is triggering bad decision making process. I think that I hope that you will understand that we can potentially in subconscious we can have thoughts that we don't belong, we not deserve, we're not able to survive, we need to not able to strive. And being able to really, that's why meditation is a great thing, because we're able to be much more aware of our thoughts and what kind of thoughts do we send to that subconscious. And being able to really be more aware and really send the right beliefs, right aspirations to our subconscious mind, and really saying that that's exactly who I am and who I want to be. Number two, that is that who am I? This is not fixed, so that means identity is not fixed. It's malleable. Is you're able to evolve, you're able to transform, you're able to become better, you're able to become who you always wanted to be. And I think that we need to understand that your identity is not your past, your identity is not your trauma, your identity is not your success, your identity is not your achievement, your identity is nothing. Your identity is not a label. We need to understand that we really say that, who am I? What is my reality right now? Who am I right now? And who I want to be and who I was in the past, because it's great to understand, okay, who I was in the past. That past person made a lot of mistakes. Now, who I am right now, of course, I will not make the same mistakes. Who I would love to be in the future. So, who am I right now? And who I was in the past, and what parts of who I was in the past gave me the tools to become who I am right now, and what kind of tools do I need to use to really become who I want to be in the future. So, when in 5 years, in 10 years, when I ask the same question, who am I? We're able to really come up with the right answer because we worked to make that identity to reality. Number three is the root of all healing and growth. I love that. I think that sometimes we're able to really say that, remember who who I really am. I think that sometimes when we look into the core aspects of ourselves, sometimes we forget because social conditioning, because of the caress, because of all the things that are around us, is really blinding us who we truly are. What kind of person? Because I truly believe in nature and nurture. So it means that 20% were given to us and 80% we able to nurture it. But again, this being able to okay, like what are those 20% that was given? That's our nature. That this is who I am. I think that sometimes we forget that those strengths that was given to us, and we do not nurture those strengths, and we're able to ask again, what who am I? What kind of things that I already was given, and what kind of things I didn't nurture it, and what I could potentially nurture to really become the expert of the expert. Because I think that when you think about really very exceptional people, they always allocate that nature and they nurture that nature. I think that a lot of times people really try to develop something that is not given to them and they become really great, but they never become exceptional. I think that every single person needs to look into who am I in a nature perspective. What are the things that I used to know myself for? Because I think that, including myself, when I think about the first times when I start to realize that I'm putting some masks on, but it was already quite early. When I was 6 or 8 years old, I was already putting some masks that it took me 20 years until to start to realize that at some points of my early age, I was already training myself to put masks on myself. And when you are putting masks for so long, it's hard to really understand who am I because those masks becomes so real to you that sometimes you start to question: Is this a mask? Is this who I really am? And being able to strip all those masks and have a real look strictly directly into your soul. It's like, who am I? Is those things are truly me, or this is just the things that I put on myself to protect myself from the world? I think it's very, 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 very. And then when you ably finally understand the true core, who am I? That's the true core of growth, because you're growing who you truly are, not your mask. And you're able to heal from all the things that you potentially, because a lot of times I think we're not able to really have a full presence, full inner peace, full all those things because we just do not live the way how we're supposed to live. So healing is in that being able to have true answer to that, who am I? Because I think that sometimes when you say asking who am I, we really get the answer from the mask rather than who we truly are. And when we live from the mask, we're not able to really live a fulfilling life. Number 4, you can't build a life bigger than your identity. You can't build a life bigger than your identity. This is such a powerful thing. And what it says is that we always need to look into how is our internal world and external world, because it could be in a balance for a short period of time, but they always balance. So it means if your identity is saying that you're not enough, that means your external world will match that. If you feel that your identity is growing, improving, getting better, your external will match it as well. So that means need to be very, very careful with our identity and how we see that. And we always need to focus on improving that, making us bigger identity from perspective of I want to really pour into my cup. My cup could be fully full all the time. Your dream life can't exist in reality where your identity says I don't deserve it. So that means that if your identity says that I don't deserve it, it's almost impossible to create that reality because you'll sabotage that. So that means that when we think about actions that is necessary to achieve that, we will not take really the right actions to achieve the things that we deserve because we believe that you do not deserve. Again, the question is who am I? Because if you answer it wrong, will not be able to live a life that you want. The last one I want to mention, number 5, is you must define it, or the world will define it, or do it for you. So it means you need to answer. You really need to sit down on your butt, on the bench, on the bed, in the park, on the grass, anywhere, but being able by yourself, nobody else. I think sometimes it's great to go and ask your friends, who do you think I am? And they could give you some ideas. But I think if they know you for a long time, and you were wearing that mask for as long as you know that friend, so that means that they will give you the answer of that mask, not who you truly are. So that means that we need to ask ourselves, like, who I used to be as early as I remember. who I was, like what kind of kid I was. And I think that we need to understand that we need to allow ourselves to define ourselves. Because, as I said, friends could define us, society, culture, trauma, conditioning, comparison. So many things could define who we are if we will not be careful. And I think that the biggest thing we need to really take the moment to define your soul, yourself. And I think that's when we really define in the right way, the world will start to really bringing different things into our life because we'll start to attract things. And I think that a lot of times people speak about manifestation, but I think that manifestation is coming to people who have really defined who they are, and that definition of who they are really attracts what they really want. Because I think that when we executing off our mask, we're not able to attract what really belongs to us because we with a fake mask we even push away the things that are supposed to be ours because the things that are supposed to be ours are afraid of the mask that we have put on ourselves. I hope you understand it. And who I am is a question that we always need to reflect on because we not supposed to allow society and surroundings shape who we are because we by choice conscious choice supposed to decide who we will be and who we are right now. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.